Alright guys, we've got a Whirlpool washer here, and brand new washer. This washer was one of those that you scratch and dent, pretty much. Actually, no, this is a 4 parts only washer. So I figured I'd do a repair on it, and basically what we're doing is we're changing the outer tub. As you can see, it was pretty busted. So normally to remove that, you use a spanner wrench. You can use pretty much any tool, but the tool you use is a spanner wrench. And you go counterclockwise to remove. And you can slide or lift the drum off. And before you can take the drum, you do have to take the splash guard off. And once that's removed, then you can just wiggle and remove the basket. So here's a quick tip here on changing that. Obviously, you want to make sure that you take pictures of where everything is. Take a look at this tub, by the way, how broken that thing is. I have no idea the history, what happened to it. Obviously, it looks like someone dropped it. That's what it looks like. Or, yeah, someone must have dropped that machine. That's your seal at the bottom. In fact, the tag on the washer before I bought it, it says leak or leaks. Yeah, more like flood. So also on that piece that we're taking off right now is it's called a basket hub. I will include the name later, but basically what that does, when you install it, I will actually show how to install it properly. It has a like 2 divots or indentation that when you slide it back on, make sure they fully seat. Otherwise, your washer will not work properly. I just wanted to mention that. Basket hub or something. There it is. So, now, that is your pressure port tube. And back there, you're going to have a screw. It's a 5/16. You remove those and get everything removed from the basket itself. And then after that, it's just basically removing the suspension rods and taking the basket out. And after that, we're going to be removing the transmission. Yeah, that screw there's a 5/16. So we're under the machine and we're taking the wires and connectors off. Some of those can be stubborn, so just be mindful. Now the motor, the wire, I will show it up close. You do have a keeper, and it's nothing more than a wedge shape, and it inserts into the connector. it basically keeps it from wiggling off. So you do need to pull it out slightly so you're able to squeeze the connector to remove it from the motor. Now that wire with the connector, it's kind of stubborn, so you might want to use a flat blade or something to pull it out, or you can just yank it out. It comes out. You're not going to break the wire, but you know, like a thumbtack remover or something, or a you call these body panel screwdrivers type deal. They like a fork, and they get under those things and they pull them out nicely. So now all the wires out the way. The pump is a 5/16 as well. The bolts for the transmission, I will post it. I think it's a 10 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. Don't lose your screws. Now, not sure if you're going to be doing this repair, but if you are, obviously it would not be too cost effective to order the outer tub from Whirlpool and have somebody install it. It would not be worth it. I did not pay much for this washer. It was brand new. And if you had to hire someone to do it, it would not be worth it, in my opinion. So, removing the basket right now. And so if you do want to do this repair yourself, I would suggest you find a cheap washer off Marketplace and take your time and just dismantle it. Pretty straightforward. As you can see, this one is totally damaged. My initial was to repair it with fiberglass. And sometimes you can do a good job with fiberglass, but that was just too badly gone. I didn't want to take a chance.
Transmission is already done.
Now, this was my donor.
I'm going to clean this thing up really good. I do have a new piece from the new drum. Replace that. Clean that open and good. Bleach it down nicely. It'll be brand new.
Yeah, your best bet would be to get a donor machine, and take your time, dismantle it, and go from there. It would not be worth it in this case, but it's not a difficult job, just very more tedious, I guess. It's just more pain in the butt than difficult, but tedious. Now that is your pump screen that keeps garbage out of your pump. So only thing should enter your pump is water. So be mindful of that. So we're going to be getting the transmission in, we're going to put some soap. You always want to make sure that opening where your seal will sit is nice and clean. No sand, no dirt. You can use any kind of soap, either Dawn or detergent. The idea behind that is to make the rubber basically, slide right in to the opening. And you don't damage anything. So when it's time to insert, you will see a portion cut out in the plastic, and it fits perfectly where the motor is. Also, to be on the safe side, have your good basket ready before you take your basket off. I did not have it like that, but if you do, you can pay attention to how everything comes off, and also make notes of where things are, just so that when it's time to reinstall, everything goes as planned. Nice and smooth, nice and easy. You want to make sure you line your holes up. Now, pay attention to where your holes are on the transmission. There are 2 holes that you can use. Pay attention to where your previous screws were. Now you can mark them with a black magic marker, or just take pictures and reference back to your photos. Or if you look closely at the metal on the transmission, you can see where the previous history of the screw was. You can definitely see the indentation on the metal. So once you're aligned and in place, you can go ahead and insert your screws. Now, putting these screws in, I do not recommend you use an impact. Yes, I used it, and I have pretty good control. So, but if you're not sure, just use your regular ratchet. It will get the job done, and you won't strip or, stand a chance of doing any damage. So just be mindful, snug them all the way up, and start at one corner and crisscross. So like a triangle, basically, from one corner, or an X, sorry, from, catty corner. That's it. Just make sure everything's nice and snug. Now we're going to be dropping in the replacement drum. And these are suspension rods. So right now the tub is upside down. As you can see, I'm inserting the suspension rods upside down. Now, I did not tape them to the side of the tub, but that's something you can do. Use a small piece of duct tape, tape them, or you can use zip ties and secure them. Whatever method you want to use. And it doesn't matter. You can always take the tape or the zip tie off afterwards. But now you want to get these in so you don't have to flip the machine or waste time. And as soon as you drop that basket in, you're able to connect your rods. Also, guys, another quick tip here. While you're trying to get these rods in, you can pull these. You can hang them here. You can hang them on the lip, the two back ones, as you worry about getting the front ones in, so that you're not putting too much tension or pressure on the rods. As of right now, that one is hanging, it's suspended, so it keeps everything stable and stabilized. So, all right. Of course, you got your piece on now. In all these things, by the way, you can always do tiny marks. You can put a little mark here and put a mark there, and that's going to help you when you reassemble this thing back together. You can put a number 1 there, number 1 there, number 2, just so you know where everything will fit back together. Makes installation a lot easier. So now we have our harness left. So that's going to be the capacitor. No, that's the pump wire. And you can't really mess these up, just so you know. They go basically one way. This is the motor. Shifter. And the motor. Trying to remember how all these wires were ran, but you really can't. You really can't mess it up. Just make sure that any wires that you had, make sure they're not rubbing or dancing on anything that's going to be rubbing. Like you would force this wire under here because this moves. Excuse me. So nicely along there. Now you do have a keeper here, so it slides out, and once you insert it, you just push it back down. And you push it in. that locks it in from coming out. Pump wires right there. Now, some of these you will have to reconnect, but we're going to wait until we get the pump in, where you're going to connect these to secure them. I think this one go right here. Push it, lock it in. He goes there. This one's going to be a screw. This one, I think this one went right here. But make sure you have enough length, of course. Slide that on. Very important. And then it gets secured. Yeah, in the same spot. Because when the tub is fully loaded, they move together, so it doesn't matter. You just want to secure it right there. One screw there, and that's good. All right, so pump is left. We've got the pump to be put. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.